Hi, I'm Barbara and welcome to Barbara Bakes. Today we are bringing you this delicious cake in our Back to Basics series. It's our carrot and orange cake. It's light, fluffy and moist, and I think you're going to love it. So grab your iPad or your notebook, wherever you keep your recipes, and let's get together and bake this fantastic cake. I know you'll love it. It's super easy. So let's bake. So here are the ingredients for our carrot and orange cake today. And at Badass Cakes, we always try to use the best quality ingredients that we can, and wherever possible, organic and absolutely free range and organic for the eggs. So I'm going to run through the ingredients for you so that you've got everything ready. 250 mils of sunflower oil, 250 grams of caster sugar, or you can use brown sugar, 3 free-range eggs, 300 grams of grated carrots, 275 grams of self-raising flour, a teaspoon of vanilla, 200 grams of our Jamaican rum cake pureed fruit mix, and I'll tell you about that later, the zest of 2 oranges, 2 teaspoons of mixed spice, 1 level teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So before you get started, let's preheat our ovens, 325 Fahrenheit, 160 Celsius, or 140 if you have a fan oven, gas mark 3. Now, we're going to start with adding our wet ingredients to our mixing bowl. If you're doing this by hand or you're using a hand mixer, it's all the same. So we're going to pop our sunflower oil in the mixer, 250 grams of caster sugar in there as well. I'm going to put my vanilla, and I've just put a teaspoon in there. The other thing I'm going to add is our Jamaican rum cake mix. Now, this is optional, so don't worry if you don't have this. And in here, I've got 200 grams of that, and it's a mixture of all our blended dried fruits and spices and things that we add in there. And if you want to get that, you can buy it from our website and you get enough for 2 cakes, so you will have that for the next time you bake. And then we're also going to add our eggs to this mix as well. And make sure, please make sure that you crack your eggs in a bowl before you add it to the mix, because sometimes there's all sorts of nasties in the eggs. So we just need to make sure that they're all good, which they are. And we're going to add our 3 eggs to that mix as well. Once all your ingredients are in, give it a mix. And as I said before, if you're mixing by hand or with a hand mixer, take everything to this stage before we move on. And there you go. And if you don't have the Jamaican rum cake fruit mix in there, yours won't look as brown and it won't look as choppy, because it will just be your eggs and your sugar. So the next thing we're going to add to our mix is the zest of 2 oranges. Smells delicious. Let's get those in. And we're also going to add our carrots. Now, I've got 2 sets of carrots here, 2 different grates. I've got the thin one, very, very fine, and I've also got the bigger one. And I like to do this on a hand grater rather than the food processor, purely because you get big chunks of carrot when you do it in the food processor, whereas they're quite long, but they're quite thin, so they're going to cook really nicely. And the reason why I do 2 different thicknesses of carrots is because when you use the fine one, once it cooks, it really absorbs into the mix, and it gets softer and softer and softer and blends in with the mix. Whereas with the bigger one, you can actually see the carrots and you can get that flavour and the chunks of carrot at the same time. And that's kind of the secret to your carrot cake. And finally, we're going to add our dry ingredients, our 375 grams of self-raising flour, all in, 2 teaspoons of mixed spice, 1 teaspoon of bicarb, make sure that all goes in, and of course our half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix that all together. It will be quite a thick batter. When it's done, we're going to pour it into our tins and get it in the oven. Now, don't forget to stop your mixer, scrape down, make sure that it's all being incorporated from underneath as well, and give it one final mix. There we go. So this recipe fits into a 9-inch tin. I have a springform tin here. To prepare your tin, to prepare my tin, all I do is I have a circle of greaseproof or parchment, whichever you want to use, which I've cut out to the same size of the tin, and I've popped it inside. I never grease my tins because I know my tins really well and I know that they won't stick. If you do want to prepare your tins with butter and flour, all you do is you take a pastry brush with some butter and you go around it and pour some flour in, dust it, and that's it, your tin's prepared. But make sure you always have the parchment in the bottom, and then you have no worries about anything sticking on the bottom. So once your tin's prepared, we can get going. Let's get this into our tin. There we go, everything's in there. As you can see, it's quite a thick consistency. It doesn't drop easily. You can see the lovely flecks of orange in there as well. It should be nice and flat when you have poured everything in. And one thing I didn't say was when you add your flour and your dry ingredients, if you like nuts and you want to add some walnuts or some chopped up Brazil nuts or any nuts, that's the time that you add it. So you add your dry ingredients and then add your nuts at the same time. Now, just to remind you, your oven should be on at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 Celsius or 140 if you have a fan oven, and for gas ovens, gas mark 3. So our cake is now out of the oven. It looks perfect. So what I normally do is go round the perimeter of the cake with a knife. Just the knife is flat against the side of the tin, and I'm going to use this other cooling tray just to turn it upside down, and then hopefully we should be able to just lift the cake out of the tin. Let's peel back the paper. Smells delicious, by the way. Your whole kitchen is going to be filled with the spices, oranges and the fruits and everything. And then turn it upside down. So let's cut a slice. A gorgeous slice of carrot cake. You can see the tiny flakes of carrots in there. It's very, very moist. And one thing I didn't mention, it's also dairy-free. Now in the UK, when we say something's dairy-free, that doesn't include eggs. So it does have eggs in it, but it doesn't have any other dairy in it. So if you know somebody that's dairy-free, this will be perfect for them as well. So here it is, the final cake. Did you enjoy it? I hope that you liked it. It's, like I said, our beautiful, moist, light, dairy-free carrot and orange cake. And we will be bringing you more videos every week, so please leave in the comments what you'd like us to make for you, or what you'd like to bake along with us, and we'll try and do that. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe, put your notification bells on so that you know every time we've posted a new video, and don't forget to like.